There's a lot of misinformation going around about growing and scaling a business. So I want to make this quick video to help you guys understand the difference, especially coming from a process standpoint. So before I get started, my name is Adriana. I own The Lazy Millennial and I'm a business process consultant. With that, I help businesses streamline and document their business operations. And a part of that job title is understanding the difference between growth mode and scaling a business, because a lot of people want to scale their businesses, but oftentimes they're in growth mode, and I have to be able to understand that. Anywho, so the key differences, I want to use a client example here just to make it a little bit easier. So one of my clients was an online business manager, so I'll refer back to that in just a moment. But the key difference you need to know here about growing and scaling a business is growing. You're growing a business. This looks like more. So it looks like more money, more clients, more services. Just growth is just more. You're getting more. So there's that. Scaling, this is when you scale with intention. So a lot of people miss this portion when it comes to scaling a business, because a lot of times people aren't really thinking about process improvement and documenting processes and all that good stuff. And this is actually needed to effectively scale a business. So with that being said, bringing in my client example. So my client was an online business manager. She was, actually I lied. She was a virtual assistant. She was transitioning to online business management too. But anyway, she was a virtual assistant. She was doing really well being a virtual assistant and everything, but it came to the point where she was getting booked out very quickly, and she had like a waiting list. And I think it was like almost like a couple of years, like it was crazy. But anyway, hers was like really long. So what happened, people were telling her like, oh, you need to hire a team. You need to do X, Y, Z. A lot of times people are like, oh, you need your own virtual assistant, blah, blah, blah. And that can be helpful. But what ends up happening, because I actually did this myself when I had my virtual assistant agency, I ended up growing my business. I kept adding people, but I had no clear direction where I was going. So like I ended up just getting rid of it in 2020 pretty much, because it was a lot. But I'll share that another story. But with her case, what people are recommending there was growing. So they're telling her, oh, you need to grow. Like you need to do this. You need to add a team member. You need to do X, Y, Z. Now, with the difference between that and what I help businesses do in scaling. So with scaling, what we ended up working out was that she was not interested at all in building like a really huge team. So what we ended up doing was coming up with different ways she could still keep the clients that were like reaching out to her, like keep her clients that she had, and then also people that were on the waiting list. We came up with like other ways she could like help them, so that way they could still like maintain, like they could still work with her. Or this is where licensing and stuff came in, like explore licensing, like having someone else do what you do, duplicate what you're doing, so they can do it as well. So they're trusted and they know they're going to get a really good job. But overall, what we ended up doing, we looked at her offers and we figured out like, hey, like here, maybe you could do a consultation for these things, offer that person, because a lot of times people think they need a virtual assistant, but they only need like maybe like a setup or like a quick few hours setup or getting organized or something like that. So what we ended up doing, sorry, that's very long. What we ended up doing, and this is part of scaling, instead of her hiring a team that she did not want, we just found a way to package up the services that she did offer into more manageable time chunks. So like that looked like VIP days, consultations, or God, I forgot what else we did, but like just coming up with something overall, just coming up with something to where you don't necessarily need, we staggered, that's what we did. We staggered how many people she brought in. That's the other thing we did. But overall, it's just a matter of being able to look at what you're offering, the direction you are trying to head in, and also coming up with the processes that will help you get to where you want to be. So that's the key difference. So like with growing, had she listened to other people, she would have just hired a whole bunch of people, didn't want to work with them, and just been miserable, versus scaling, where she wasn't really interested in hiring someone long-term to help her, which would have been subcontractors. She wasn't really interested in that. So we just found a way to still be by herself, but also make her workload more manageable. So that's what scaling looks like. So now she was able to bring in even more money because she's already doing these services. She was able to add in more things without like burning herself out. And I'm pretty sure she's still doing pretty well what she's doing now. But key difference, growing means more. Scaling is being strategic with your growth. So hopefully that helps. And if you have any questions on it, just let me know. And yeah, that's all I got for y'all in this video. I'll see y'all next time.